Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening, and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan, and yes, I was a few minutes late. I had to go to Wally World on my way home from work. A place I try to avoid at all costs. And today was the day I had to go. Let's see, now that I'm here, who do we have in the chat? We have Frank S. We have Kibbs of Kibbs with Retro. We have Everything is Broken Garage Ryan. We have Joe's Computer Museum asking, will I be late? Joe, the question is not will I be late, but how late will I be? Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. We have Retro Techie Bonsoir. We have... oh yeah, ouch. Let's see here, we have... Jesse, I8386SX, suggesting that I run streams off of junkyard PCs. That is tempting, but I prefer stream reliability, which is why as soon as we get fiber in our neighborhood, I'm switching to fiber internet. We have Frodo Jedi. We have Trina. Hi, Trina. Your power adapter came yesterday. The Postal Service took their sweet time to deliver it. We have Garth Beagle. We have the chat trying to scroll away while I'm trying to see if I've missed anyone else. Bad chat. No cookie for you. All right. Yes, tonight I am going to be attempting to do my cheap PC challenge build. And I realized I'm going to have fun trying to find Windows 7, although I guess I'll just go get an MSDN installer and try that. Because you can't download Windows 7 on Microsoft's website anymore. Let's see, other things. Let's see here. Thursday, I will be working on the Apple II Plus clone again. I have chips. Sorcerer Stan sent me a goodie package. I'll be opening that on that stream because it has to do with that computer. And also my Jamco order arrived, so I've got plenty of chips. We will see if I got everything. I don't know why I had 23 chips fail. To set the record straight, when I looked at that system last, I thought there was a 74LS80 chip. Sorcerer Stan watched the VOD. He's realized I made an error, and I went back and looked at the board, and that was a 74LS08. That my brain mixed the two numbers around, so that's why there was that chip that I couldn't test because it wasn't supported. Well, I misread the numbers. Turns out that chip was bad, so the number is 23 bad chips. Let's see here. Yeah, but I got Ko-fi, links in the description. Yes, thank you, Garth, for sharing the Cheap PC Challenge video. And I think that was about it. I was going to go ahead and start. Now, this year's Cheap PC Challenge, the only parts that count towards the cost are the CPU, the RAM, and the video card. So apparently, and I guess the motherboard. Or maybe not the motherboard, but I thought the motherboard. So I think it's like motherboard, CPU, RAM, and video card. So that means that this power supply that I have on hand, I can use it no problem because power supply cost doesn't count towards things. Also, the fact that the way I bought the CPU was in a case that had been stripped of most of its essential parts, well, the fact that that case was part of the $5 I paid for the case that had a motherboard and processor in it, well, I don't get credit, but, well, that wasn't required to be tallied towards the cost. Because theoretically, I could have just jammed all the parts on my workbench, not put them in a system. So anyways, let's quickly go over what I have, because according to the seller, I need to repaste the video card, which I'm going to do before I actually test it. Or maybe I'll test it first and then repaste it. I don't know. We'll see what the chat says. The seller says it needs repasted. Should I test first or repaste first? Anyways, Retro Techie says, buy a Core 2 Duo Mac Mini, challenge completed. Well, that seems a little boring. I like building computers. So what do I have here? So I have, to start us off, and I'll go to table cam here because I think I've got all the parts on the table. I have the remains of an HP Pavilion Elite HPE. And quite honestly, the HPE in the model name, I don't know if that's their slick way of abbreviating HP Pavilion Elite, or maybe HP Elite. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyways, this system came from the Habitat Restore in Herndon, Virginia. I picked it up on the weekend in March when I went to go visit Retrotech Chris. So it's got an AMD Phenom processor, as is, and the price tag is kind of hard to see because, well, it's overexposed, but let's see if I can't. $5. So to start off my budget, if anyone wants to tally the costs, and the budget is $100. So to start off the budget, oh, this RAM does not count. This is RAM I pulled from my collection for testing. So this is not this RAM actually pulled out of a computer just to test the board. So anyways, so this came with the processor, and I don't remember what it is. I'd have to go back and watch where I tested it. So it's got the processor and the motherboard, and other than that, there's a fan that's all dusty, but $5. So I'm in $5 for the processor and the motherboard. Five whole dollars. Now, of course, some might say, well, Justin, that gives you $95 for everything else. Oh, no. I want to come in under budget. And because everyone knows that I like shopping on eBay, the place where I buy things I later regret, I had to buy a video card on eBay. So I have this absolutely, I'm sure, high quality, stunning, record-breaking, I'm overselling it, I'm sure, XFX graphics card. This is supposed to be a Radeon R9 380X, 4 gigabytes. And I think this is a pretty decent card. It should run DirectX 10, which I believe is the target version of DirectX. It does need 2 power connectors, so that should mean it'll benchmark extra nice. $28. $28. Because the seller had them listed at $35 and I offered $28. Yeah, Garth saying, wait, Justin bought a GPU from eBay and it'll work this time. Well, we'll see, Garth. I'm also out of the return period, so if it doesn't work, Well, I'll have to get another one. And then, because everyone knows how much I love eBay, place where I buy things I later regret, I bought 2 sticks of memory from eBay. So these are supposedly... Well, actually, I'm not totally sure what they're supposed to be. I think these are 2 8s. So it should be 16 gigabytes of RAM. Because it's a Kingston KHX1600C 10D 3B1 K2/16G kit, and I believe that 16 is the total amount, not the per. So it should be 8 and 8, so that should be 16 gigs of RAM. That should be plenty for this system. And I paid a whopping $20. So 28 plus 2, 20 is 48, plus 5 is $53. So I believe my cheap PC challenge total is $53. Retro Techies suggests that I install Linux on this, and my reply is Linux cannot run the benchmarks that are required for the challenge. I might then install Linux on it after the challenge. Oh. And because apparently I probably was half tired last week when I last used my knife, I apparently decided to leave it open so that I would attempt to stab myself with it next time I used it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put this Kingston performance memory in here. Trina's asking about a drive. Well, the drive does not count towards the budget, but I do have a 120 gigabyte SATA SSD that I'm going to put in here. Because that's what I got on hand that I'm not to use. So it's just a Samsung 120 gigabyte SSD. So this is what I'm going to use. Luckily there's a SATA cable. And I'm just going to, I'm not even going to bother to screw it in. And there is a DVD-ROM drive that may work, that is in the top of the computer, so that should give me my drives. And let's see here. I guess I should probably at least see if the video card works before I repaste it, because then I'll know if I messed up or if it didn't work at all. Of course, if this doesn't work at all, then this is going to be a really short, cheap PC challenge build. And I'll have to get a card. I mean, well, I'll also see if the RAM works, but... Well, if this becomes a short, cheap PC challenge build, then Retro Techie might get his wish about me installing Linux on something. Because I might have to pull out my cheap laptop, well, really cheap laptop that came from the free pile, that I now have a power adapter for. But first, let's see what we got here. So, I'll plug in my XFX video card, which I am hoping fits. Oh, that's weird. Come on. Oh, there we go. There we go. video card in. And let's see here. For the test, I'm just not even going to bother. Hold on. Apparently, I have the skills necessary to royally tangle up anything I set on my bench. Just by setting it on my bench. Alright. So, this power supply is, I believe, longer than the one HP would have included in the system, but this is what I have on hand. So, hey, K-Mac. Garth, I'll have to look it up when I get the system powered up. I don't remember what it is right offhand. It's an AMD Phenom. I think it's one of the triple cores. But I think when I go into setup, I'll be able to see what it is. I don't remember what it is right offhand. Alright, so let me plug in power. Let's see here. That's actually, those are the PCI Express power connectors. Ah, and those are PCI Express. Oh, this is actually, I didn't realize this is actually one of my better power supplies. Well, I'm glad I actually pulled this out of my Pentium 4 system, because this is the one I have that has like 4 PCI Express power connectors on it. Totally unnecessary for this system, but totally unnecessary for a Pentium 4. Or, not Pentium 4, Pentium 2. Yeah, it's been a while since AMD used a triple core. Alright. Garth got a $34 4090 for the cheap PC challenge to pair with the Core Solo system he's building. Huh, $34 4090? I didn't realize those CPUs had dropped so far down in price. Of course, then again, X mining cards probably aren't worth that much. I was going for a video card that I knew would run DirectX 10 or whatever. Because I was hoping to run Windows 7 on this computer, because it's got a Windows 7 license. Alright, trying to plug in the PCI Express power connector. Oh, there we go. I am unnecessarily plugging in power from 2 separate cables. Not that this video card draws that much power, but reasons. Alright. And my chat stopped scrolling. Retro Techie says I need to sell miniature hats like the one I'm wearing. Well, I'll look into that. Something tells me, though, that hats like the one I'm wearing are probably quite pricey, even if they're miniature. Because this is an actual, authentic British flat cap. It was made somewhere in the UK. From actual British wool. They don't make them like this here in the US. In fact, I don't even think they make flat caps at all here in the US. Alright. I am plugging in all the drives. I even plug in the SATA drive. Make sure it's detected. Oh, and Garth, I see in the chat, has admitted that sometimes he lies. I was kind of thinking that a $34 4090 seemed just a little bit too convenient. He's probably going to chime in and say, "Yeah, it was actually like $49 or something like that." Retro Techie's asking, British like British Columbia, Canada? No, no, British as in like the Queensland, British, like, or the King's Land, British, I guess now. British, like, if you're going to go visit King Charles, that British. I'm honestly surprised they let you import them into the US. They're so British. Ha 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 ha. These hats are so British that the size is in metric. Now, does that say anything about how British this cap is? Because you all know exactly how other things in America are. Oh, and I'm dropping everything. I'm looking for the DVI cable that I know is here somewhere plugged into my scaler. Because it's about time to power this up. See, I also need a USB mouse, which should be floating around here somewhere. Well, actually, for a power-up test, I don't need the mouse, but I do need the DVI cable because... Or I need an HDMI cable. Or I need an adapter. Let me walk... That cable's probably around the other side. Nope, it's actually on top of my bench. Oh, but under a whole pile of other cables. There we go. There it is. All right. Okay, let's see here. So this should be on DVI 1. Capture input. Plug in power. I think I just realized I should have brought my Jamco receipt downstairs because it was kind of funny if I needed some comic relief. So I ordered a whole bunch of chips from Jamco. 74 LS series chips. And... Oh. Yeah, Retro Techie. We'll do that sometime. And they were in the column it said what brand they were. They were Major Brand chips. I mean, they couldn't have afforded putting the D on the end, but that kind of gave me a chuckle when I saw it. All right, I'm trying to look for the power switch on this computer. It's oh, there it is. I found it somewhere. And well, that's interesting. And I seem to have no video output. Huh. Just oh, well, I've got a here we go. I got an error on the VGA output on the motherboard. Let's see here. We press function 2 to continue, and oh, hold on. I'm for some reason getting only video output on the onboard video, which There we go. All right, let's check settings here. Richard Techie says Control P and Control Alt PR. Ah, funny, Retro Techie. Okay, so let's see here. System time. Let me set these. Actually, I don't care about the time. Language, English, floppy diskette, not in... Is there a floppy controller on this board? Because I might actually need to use it. If there is. Is this board new and old enough? Oh, wait. I bet if I plug in a USB floppy drive, it will detect that. But, okay. DVD RAM drive. Yeah, that's actually neat. Huh. DH60L. Well, it's got a funny cover over it, so I wasn't really sure what it was. Okay, I got a DVD RAM drive. Gutbomb says he's caught up to live, and the transition from 2X to 1X was jarring, like driving into a wall of Jello. Well, Jello? Primary video adapter. Oh, here we go. PCIe is the primary video adapter. Let's see if that fixes it. SATA 1 is enabled. AHCI, yeah, that looks good. Onboard LAN, onboard WAN, onboard audio, that looks good. Blah, 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 blah. We'll turn on virtualization, because that's cool. Boot time diagnostic screen enabled. Boot device priority. Actually, I think I want floppy before hard drive. There we go. And exit saving changes. Does this have built-in diagnostics? That would be pretty cool. Oh, actually, I bet the... Oh, there we go. Now I've got video on the graphics card, so let's see. I do not want to boot that Windows 7. Press function 8 for an advanced option. Yeah, I do not want. I actually do not want to run this Windows, so I need to. I guess I need to go get an installer. Windows 7. I wonder if I can tell anywhere on this system what version of Windows 7 this would have been licensed for. Probably Windows 7 Home. Can't tell. Oh, there's a reason why I don't want to boot into this Windows. Oh, hey, RetroTech Chris. I'm trying to figure out if I can tell what version of Windows this would have been licensed for, so that I can go grab a disk. Let me see if I can get this to go into, like, the built-in diagnostics. That's not what I wanted to do. Nope, I do not want to boot Windows. I am going to plug in the system fan if I can figure out where it plugs into to get rid of that annoying error. Oh, here we go. Here's where it plugs in. Of course, I might realize why it's unplugged here momentarily. There we go. Oh, function 10 to enter setup. There we go. All right, so... Okay, so it sees my 16 gigs of RAM. That's good. BIOS version 6.04. I would like to know if there's a newer BIOS for this. Okay, so Garth was asking what this was. This is an AMD Phenom 2 X4 945 processor. So quite a nice processor for $5. Yes, Gutbomb, that fan alert was legit, but I just plugged the fan in. So if I restart the computer, it should not give me a fan alert. But that was a legit alert. The back fan was unplugged. Hey, Sorcerer Stan, I got your chips yesterday. SATA and PCIe, a modern... Yeah, no, this is actually more modern than I normally work on the channel. I do admit, but I'm doing this in the spirit of... This is what we did back in the day. We pieced PCs together for cheap. It just so happens this is newer than I normally do, but that's because this is for the cheap PC challenge. But even back in the day, we pieced stuff together for cheap. So I'm doing it in the spirit of what we've always done. Piece things for cheap. Retrotech Chris says he had a couple Phenom 2 PCs at one point. Well, I don't know. Well, you might not recognize this PC from this angle, but this is my $5 Habitat Restore PC we picked up in March. Or, well, that I picked up in March. Actually, you might have helped carry it too. So, I guess we both have picked it up. Ba-doom boom. So yeah, $5 for the... So the motherboard and processor was in the $5 PC. The video card I paid $28 for on eBay. And the 16 gigs of RAM for $20 on eBay. So $53. Did I notice the little extra package? I'll find out on Thursday. I opened it just, I opened it briefly just to, make sure it was okay, but I then stuck the box over with the, Apple II Plus clone. So we'll be, looking at that Thursday. Let's see. Wait, does it have an eSATA port? If so, it still counts as retro. Oh no, it doesn't have an eSATA port. Oh no. It's just new. It's just too new. I mean, it's got USB 2. Oh, wait. You know, I don't know that it has USB 3. It probably does. I just probably can't see it. Oh, yeah, Herndon. Yep, this came from Herndon. We walked all the way back through the Habitat Restore. We went to where all the electronic stuff was, and we're walking back towards the front, and Chris says, "Hey, Justin, did you see this?" And he points down to this HP computer that's on the bottom shelf, like, I guess, in the hallway where you go back to the back, and no, I hadn't seen it. It was $5. I was like, okay, I'm grabbing that for the cheap PC challenge. Would be fun to see what the oldest OS you can load on it is. Chris has thrown down the challenge. Yes, Chris, that's where you got the CD media, yes. You know, that might be an interesting challenge, but I think in the name of testing this, I'm going to skip that for the moment. Oh, hey, Ryan. You missed me fighting with it a little bit to get video out of the graphics card, which needs to be repasted, but so far the graphics card seems to be working, if maybe running a bit hot. Oh, yeah, I can install DOS on this, especially if I set it to Legacy. And who knows, maybe I might install DOS on this. I mean, it does have, I think it's got a PCI slot. I think there might be a PCI slot under the second. Maybe not. I think there might have been a PCI slot under the second card, but I can't. The card's sticking over it. I can't see. Because yeah, we could totally put a. Especially with those new sound drivers. Ooh, there's new sound drivers for DOS. Cool. Well, we might have to install DOS on this at some point, but Chris has run Windows 3.1 on a Pentium 4. Had to do lots of trial and error with drivers. Phenom 2, I believe, is newer, Chris. All right, well, let me go upstairs and grab a install disk for Windows 7, because that's what I'm going to need for the cheap PC challenge. And we'll go from there. So I'll be right back. I had my hands full, or I would have brought it down earlier. Okay, so I got the well, I guess this Windows 7 disk will have to do right here. I don't know if it's the right edition for this system, but... Oh! Hey, there's a disk in the drive. Hey, there's a CDR in the drive. Interesting. Someone, anyone want to take a venture as to... Yeah. Anyone want to take a venture as to what might be on that CDR? Actually, that could be a scary thought. I'm hoping it's just like... Oh. Whoops. Alright. Well, whoops. Okay. Let's try that again. Oh, believe me, I just, um... Yeah, it looks like, photos. Class reunion photos. Badge photos, football, graduation, Jaguar journals, FCHS. Yeah, someone's personal data. They left it in the drive. Well, if you burned a CD named 170922_1625 and you left it in an HP that you donated to the Herndon Restore, just identify exactly what's on the disc and I'll return it to you. Yeah, well, CD-ROM group. Alright, well. Okay, well, I guess the disk I put in this drive may not be bootable. I may have to, Oh, there we go. It is bootable. I just have to hit a key soon. Garth says OS2 warp. I don't know if I'm going to be able to install anything. This drive sounds like it's about to take off. Chris's sound Pi he has on his porch might be picking this one up. Well, Chris, if a round-like object flies over your house that sounds like a jet engine, but it's like CD-shaped and silvery and making a lot of noise, well, it might be because this disc actually took off, because it sure sounds like it's about to. English, US. Oh, I'm going to... Let me open a window to this capture card that I can make a little larger. There we go. Install now. Right. I do not know what version service pack this is. Garth says a good 52x CD drive sounds like it's going to take off. Well, this is a... Alright, I do want Windows 7 Ultimate 64-bit. Yeah, 64-bit's fine on Windows 7. I accept the license terms. Custom. Let's see here. You know, I forgot to plug in a mouse. Drive options. I want to delete. Okay. And we're going to install in the unallocated space. All right. There we go. Well, RetroTechie Linux is for the another computer. I got to be able to run DirectX 10 for the cheap PC challenge. So, unfortunately, since we got to install from a disk, we're going to have to wait for it to install. Oh, Trina, I am installing Windows 7 because this computer has a Windows 7 license on it, and DirectX 10 will run on Windows 7. I guess I could install Windows 8. But the benchmarks picked for the cheap PC challenge were for DirectX 10. If I install Windows 10, then I get DirectX 12. So I'm installing Windows 7 so I can get DirectX 10. But since we are waiting for things to copy, I'm going to go walk over to the little pile of stuff that I have waiting. Linux would be fun. Well, everyone might get their wish because we're going to be waiting for Windows to install. So let me see if I can do this without doxing myself, because I didn't prepare for this at all. Well, at least I'm not trying to install Windows Vista. There's that. All right. So what am I pulling out onto the bench? So naturally, for this stream, if I'm not working on an HP, I'm going to take a look at this compact that I got from the swap meet on the free pile. Because Trina sent me a power adapter. And I have to say, when I first saw this box in the mail, I was like, oh, I don't remember ordering anything from Joe, because it had the 8 bits are all you need tape. And then I saw the bottom. I'm like, ah, yeah, this came from Trina. There we go. So Trina sent me the power adapter or what should be the power adapter for this computer. So now I should be able to power it up. So thank you, Trina. I have unboxed your channel surprise. And also, while I'm at it, Gut Bomb sent me a box. I'm hoping I'm remembering things correctly. Which also was like, oh, I don't remember ordering anything from Joe. And then I remembered, oh yeah, he already told me, yeah, he was reusing a Joe box. So I made sure to let Joe know that his boxes are the perfect size. All right, so we've got some paper packing. I will reuse that. Oh, I have a little pizza. Cool. Little pizza doodad. That will go good with LGR's video today. And, yes, that's right. And a micro SD adapter, because I couldn't find mine the other day. So, all right. Thank you, Gut Bomb. This will come in handy. I will leave this one downstairs for doing things down here. So I'll put it in the drawer where I will hopefully not misplace it. All right. Yes, my car was decently loaded up, although Sloopy wins the loaded car award. All right, so let's see what this compact's going to do while we wait for Windows to expand files because it's 10% done. So, alright. I'm going to plug the power adapter in. I'm going to move this keyboard so that I can put the laptop more in frame. I know this is probably not the best place to put a laptop. We will plug the power adapter in. Turn it on. Ooh, I see a blinking. The power LED on the front turned on. So, let's see here. Will my free laptop work? Well, the battery charge. I doubt the battery's going to charge. Will it turn on? Hey! I know it's hard to see, but there we go. Compact. System CMOS checksum bad. Default configuration used. Let's go into setup here. All right, I've got a celery processor. All right, this is a Presario C500, an Intel Celeron M CPU 520, which runs at a blistering 1.6 gigahertz. I've got 2 megabytes of memory and probably no hard drive in here. So I'm going to have to go see if I can find a hard drive, probably. Oh. Yeah, there's no hard drive in here, so... But it powered up! Woohoo! Awesome! Alright. 2 megs of memory. Alright, well. See how hard it's going to be to find a drive. Windows is 41%. I think I know where I've got a drive. Actually, I bet the drive is in here under these 2 screws that are marked with platters stacked on top of each other. Alright, so we got a SATA hard drive. Oh, don't worry. If this only has 2 megs of memory, I'll probably do something about that, because that is kind of paltry. I should probably unplug it. And let me pop the battery out, even though I doubt the battery charged. There we go. And let's see here. Oh, did I say megabytes? I meant gigabytes. 2 gigabytes. I'm thinking cheap PC challenge. That sticker makes the SODIMM look crooked. Yeah. Shame on Samsung for putting the sticker on crooked. But yeah, it's got 2 gigabytes of DDR2 memory. I think I'll have to do something about that, but I don't think I got... Yeah, 2 1 gigabyte sticks. Ooh, I could run Windows Vista Home Basic. And I won't. Alright, let me see. I've got a... I think I've got a SATA drive. Question is, do I have an Ubuntu installer of any version on a disk? Yeah, it actually could be maxed out on memory. It may very well be maxed out on memory. It may not be able to take more than 2. RetroTech Chris says Windows XP. I mean, we could try. We could very well try Windows XP. You know, actually, I could go pull the I could pull the SSD out of my. Uh, I've got a Dell Inspiron laptop that's running Linux. I could just pull. I bet I could pull that SSD out, bring it down here, and pop it in, and it will probably just work. RetroTech wants me to run Hannah Montana Linux. Uh, well, if I can, well, I don't know that I have any discs to burn it on. Bummer. Uh, okay, let's see here. Do I have any SSDs down here just for testing? Actually, I might. I kind of remember buying an SSD for. Something and maybe sticking it here and no. I must have put it in the computer. Okay. All right. Well, oh, actually, hold that thought. My Windows 7 install is about to reboot. There's a Linux distro called You Want To that would probably run great. Windows XP, Chris says, Windows XP had to be one of the most dynamic OSs with like a Pentium 233 MMX as the minimum specs and people using Windows XP as late as 2014 and beyond. Yeah. You. All right. I'll look up that distribution. Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's based on Ubuntu. Okay. Let's see. Hannah Montana Linux. Unfortunately, you can get that apparently too. How unfortunate. Yeah, I was actually thinking of something a little newer than Hannah Montana Linux so that I can actually do things on it. Because I do use my Linux laptop for, like, diagnosing things. Oh, hey, Michael. One Bit Fever Dreams is here. It's. Okay. It's. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just install Ubuntu so that I can actually do things. Because I use my Linux laptop for when I need to, like, image something that I can plug in by USB. Or burning discs. Hey, this does have a DVD multi-recorder in it. Cool. Windows 7 Ultimate. All right. Type a username. Oh. Actually, it would probably help if I would type on the correct keyboard. Well, I'm going to have to set my Presario to the side here. Sorry, Compaq. You've been temporarily demoted for the main theme of the stream. Let's see if I can find a place to set that not fall over. All right. Pull the keyboard back on. All right. Computer name. Cheap PC. Cheap PC. Ah. Oh, I can't type the full PC name. Cheap PC Challenge 2023. All right, that'll work. Type a password. Retype your password. Type a password hint. I'm not typing in a password. This is, I'm not going to plug it into the internet if I can help from it. I will copy things to a thumb drive if necessary. Let's see here. So it is... I'm trying to find the mouse that I have somewhere. This is going to be painful. Oh, hey, Kevin Moonlight. Yes, I did read that you love, like, really fast. Maybe I should have set the time in the BIOS. That would have been faster. Alright, so it is the 22nd. And it is... Let's see here. It is... 21... Oh, I don't need to do military time. So it is 9:09 p.m. Alright. Oh! I could, Oh, no. We're not connecting to the internet. Alright, let's see here. Somewhere I've got a thumb drive down here for sure. And if not, I'll have to go upstairs and get one. Because I'll probably need to start... Oh, I do have a micro SD card down here, though. Oh, there we go. I'll use this micro SD card to transfer files. Why not? I now have the cutest little adorable reader to use it with. All right, and we have Windows 7. And I am still looking for the USB mouse that I know is somewhere around here. Honestly, probably buried under stuff. Does this computer take PS2? No, it does not. All right. Because I'm going to need to go download some drivers for sure. Search programs and files. System information. All right, so we got Windows 7 Ultimate Service Pack 1. That'll probably be fine. Let's see, software environment. Nope, that's not going to tell me what I want. I was thinking maybe it would tell me what version of... Nope, this is not what I want. All right. Windows, search programs and files. Let's see. Device manager. Oh, that's neat. The Ethernet controller is the only thing it doesn't have a driver for. Oh. Oh, it's a quad-core processor. Okay. I thought it was a triple-core for some reason. Display adapters. Ah, standard VGA. Okay. So, I need to download the... Alright, so I need to download some Windows drivers. Who did it best? Windows 7 or System 7? Ooh. Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I'd have to go with System 7. It was first. It was actually a pretty solid macOS release. All right, so let me see. AMD.com. I'm going to download the video drivers. So this is a graphics R9 series, R9 300 series, R9 380X. And I want Windows 7 64-bit edition drivers. And let's see here. Oh, that's cool. All right, there we go. I am downloading drivers. Also, I should probably go grab the Actually, I'm going to go to the Cheap PC Challenge video real quick because I need to go download the benchmarks. I believe they are linked on this. All right, so the benchmarks I've got to run are Passmark version 9. Downloading that now. I have to run the Lost Planet DirectX 10 benchmark using default settings. So let me grab that from guru3d.com. And it's giving me a... Oh, there we go. And that's downloading. And I got to run the Google Octane benchmark. Which I will plug this into the network because apparently that's an online test. So I will plug this into the network when I need to run that benchmark and only for the duration of that benchmark. But the video drivers and the benchmarks, I just downloaded. So let me put my micro SD card in this computer and probably have to format this micro SD card because it probably hold please while I do the USB plug triple shuffle, because of course wrong correct, there is a problem with this drive. You don't say. Probably because this was a Raspberry Pi drive. Let me see here. Disk management. Disk 1. Let me delete the volume here. And delete the volume here. Hold, please. I'm formatting this disk. Let me delete the volume. All right, now let me format my micro SD card here. And let's see, drive D and FAT32. That looks good. All right. All right, now I've got a disk I can put into the Windows 7 computer so that I do not have to plug it into the network to download software. And I'm waiting for Windows to format the volume or something silly like that. Ah, there we go. All right. So let me copy these downloads to... I'm using a micro SD card so I don't have to run upstairs here. Ooh, PC DOS 7. That's tempting. Oh, by the way, Kevin, I have a mystery that I might be sending your way if you wouldn't mind looking at it. Although I was watching a video on YouTube the other day, I might have an inkling of what the mystery might be, so I may not have a BIOS mystery, but I have a motherboard with a BIOS, and it is always disabling the level 1 cache, no matter what you do. The video I was watching like a day or two ago, someone was trying to troubleshoot a motherboard that was not enabling any of the caches until they put a jumper on the turbo switch. But my board is... the level 2 cache seems to always be enabled. But I am going to try the turbo switch jumper first to make sure that that's not how it's de-turboing. Because maybe that's why the level 1 cache is always disabled. But if that doesn't work, I might be sending a BIOS image your way to see if you can find the possible code in it that is just always disabling the level 1 cache. Because it's from one of those motherboards that came with fake cache. Although this board apparently has real level 2 cache on it. But yeah, I'll let you know if the turbo switch isn't the actual cause of the level 2 cache not working. And I will pass along the BIOS image. Or I can point you to where it is on the retro web. So, actually, you know, I could, it's a, Shuttle Hot 419 board. I believe is which one it is. Yeah, it's probably a cursed motherboard. It was known to come with fake cache, although the one I have actually has real cache on it, but it was known to come with fake level 2 cache. You know, the kind that says right back on it? Alright. I need a mouse so that I can install this software without tripping through installs like a person that really needs a mouse to control Windows 7. Although I could probably do the keyboard if I really put my mind to it. Alright, well, we got Windows 7. We got 2 of the 3 benchmarks. Oh, well, Joe, you haven't missed much. I got Windows 7 installed. I am still looking for the mouse, the USB mouse. It was on my bench somewhere. And now I'm actually to a point in the process where I really would like to be able to use the mouse. And so far, I have found an Apple IIc mouse, a 128/512 Plus mouse, a PS2 mouse, an ADB mouse, a serial mouse. Need I go on with other types of mice that are not USB? Because I think I found all of the mice that I have down here, except my USB mouse. And all it would take to find the USB mouse would be to say, okay, I can't find the mouse. Let's look at name system that is not a PC. And 5 minutes later, I'll find the USB mouse. I'll go grab one from somewhere. All right. I know I've got USB mice. I thought it was on my workbench somewhere. I usually like to keep it close, but apparently I moved it. Okay, I guess let me go run upstairs, grab a mouse. Oh, hey, John. Oh, Adam, this is my cheap PC challenge build. I am about to run the benchmarks. And then we might, or at least I'm going to run the 2 benchmarks that don't require an internet connection. I might get crazy and run the 3rd benchmark as well. I'll plug it into wired network only long enough to run the benchmark. But at the moment, I'm trying to find... Oh, here we go. It's not the USB mouse I want, but it's the USB mouse I'm going to get. It is an Apple USB mouse. It has 1 button on it. But that's better than no mouse. So, there we go. Alright, so let me install the video drivers, and then we're going to run the 2 benchmarks. Oh. Yeah. Adam don't get the cheap PC challenge. I can just take home an i7 instead of throwing it in the dumpster. Yeah, I know. Oh, you know, it'd probably be quicker if I would actually copy... Let me just copy these files to a temp directory. Instead of trying to run them off the micro SD card. All right. Copy. Paste. There we go. Well, for those of you all that know that I have a Octane, oh, there we go. That was quick to copy. My faceless Octane is about to get a face because I bought one off eBay. Hopefully I won't regret buying that as well. I was looking for one that had the SGI bug on it, but I settled for one with their new logo because that's... The seller had 2. They had an Octane cover that had the bug on it. That's their old logo. And they had one that had the SGI logo. And apparently right before I was able to buy it, they sold the one with the bug on it. So, well, I got one with the new logo. But I also have another SGI computer now. But I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. Because it doesn't have a video card. And from what I can tell, I don't know that it ever supported a video card. Although, surely there's a PCI video card you could probably put in it, but... Because I think it's got PCI slots, but... It was apparently one of their... It's an Origin 350 system. And it was apparently designed to plug into a graphics pipeline for rendering. And, yeah, there's no way I'm getting one of those. So, yeah, don't know when I'll get to that one. It's actually kind of it's a strange beast for sure. Of course, there's no disk and drive D Radeon installer. I don't know why you should care. So, anyways, I guess for those of you that are just joining, full install. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so this is my Cheap PC Challenge 2023 entry. Just a quick overview of what I have in here for those that weren't here previously. So I have the $5 PC that I picked up at the Herndon Habitat Restore in March when I was I get thrifting with Chris back in March. So that gave me a Phenom X4 945 processor, motherboard, and a case. Although the case wasn't part of the budget for this year, but that was $5. So motherboard and processor, $5. I bought 16 gigs of RAM on eBay for $20, and so far it seems to be working. It is some Kingston Blue memory, HyperX Blue. Yes, I did try to find blue and gold accessories, but the only thing I could find was blue RAM, so oh well. And also from eBay, and so far I'm not regretting the purchase, although the seller said it needed repasted, but so far it seems to be running fine. I have an XFX brand Radeon R9 380X, 4GB. That was $28. So my total budget is 53. My total spend is $53. And apparently Windows is complaining that I tried to install an unsigned driver. Well, that's not good. Alright, I'm going to have to figure out how to turn off the driver signing check. Oh, I have the cover. I've had the cover. It's right here. So, I just have the cover off so I can easily show off what's in it. I may need to download... Yeah, the 380X is a nice card. And it should run DirectX 10 like a champ. Yeah, when I saw that for $28, I knew I had a winner. If it worked. You all know my luck. Alright, let me go see if there is a... I may need to... I don't know if I needed to install a newer service pack on this computer. Alright, let's see here. Let me see, there might have been a WHQL driver that I need instead. Or I need to go figure out how to turn off driver signing checking. Oh, hey Dave. Yeah, this case was missing the power supply. It had the side cover. Well... Alright. Windows requires a digitally signed driver. Alright, I'm gonna have to... No. Alright, let me see if I can remember where to turn off driver. I think you can do it. Oh, it does help if I... Yeah, I was missing the PSU. Let's see here. Advanced system settings. System protection. Remote. Performance. All right. Advanced. Let's see here. All right. Hold on. Oh, it might be an expired root certificate problem. It could be. Let me see if I can figure out real quick how you disable. I think there's a way to turn that off in Windows 7. Which is fine. I wouldn't do it on a system that I really needed to. Ah, okay. Here we go. Okay, I got it. I think I got it. Okay. So I think what I need to do is restart, and I need to hit function 8 on the restart, and that should be able to disable signing enforcement. I have to do that each start. Okay, now I should be able to install these graphics drivers. Yeah, gut bomb. I didn't realize that was there, because that Windows 7 install that was on that drive needed to it needed to be wiped. All right, hold please while I fix the. There we go. I think I may actually have Windows drivers. Oh, okay. I need to actually reinstall those drivers. Why do I need to do that? Well, it didn't install all the drivers, so let me reinstall and make sure it installs the drivers. All right, repair, additional options, full install, factory reset, install. Okay, this should be good. So it should uninstall, and then it should be able to install the drivers. And oh, cool. I'm glad Steve will take your broken Centrus board. All right, system will restart. So, all right. The annoying thing is you have to. All right. Got to do that on each boot where you are going to install drivers that aren't signed. Steve doesn't have a plotter. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. We are installing drivers, and hopefully this will just go. And once these drivers are installed, because it looks like Windows 7 installed all the rest of the drivers, I'll be running some benchmarks. And then we'll pull that. Well, we'll run the benchmarks, and then we'll probably pull the compact laptop back up on the bench. See if I can't tell it to install anyways, and hopefully it will not complain about the signature. Adam McG says the stream is like watching his own job in 2012. Yes. Except, believe it or not, these drivers are only a year old. Because apparently AMD was releasing Windows 7 drivers for this video card up until June of last year. Oh, yeah, gut bomb. Yes, a good point. To make it clear, I don't need to disable the driver signing enforcement each boot. I only need to do that on a boot where I'm going to install an unsigned or driver, or in this case, a driver that is signed, but the root certificates need updated on this Windows 7 install, so they might as well be unsigned to this version of Windows 7 because the root certificates are out of date. Yes. Yeah, once you've installed the drivers, you're totally fine to boot normally because they're installed. So, yes. Also, this is just for the cheap PC challenge. I mean, I'll probably keep this PC, but I'll do something with it other than run Windows 7 for keeps. Oh. Well, that's weird. It's still complaining about drivers. Okay, but it only complained about the sound driver, so... Yeah, Gut Bomb, I may very well try older drivers. And I'm not activating this version of Windows yet, because I'm not plugging you into the internet. Besides, I sure thought Windows gave you like 3 days before it started complaining. But it might be because I changed the date on install. Okay, this, I may be... I just want to run the benchmarks. I may have to reinstall. Well, I should be able to run the benchmarks with this install of Windows, but... Yeah, I think it's complaining about that HDMI sound driver. And yeah, Gut Bomb, I may retry the benchmarks with a more period-appropriate driver. One, to your point, that's less bloat, fewer optimizations for later cards. So I may find an earlier R9 380 driver that I may try an older driver. Microsoft wants to know why I haven't registered. Well, I haven't registered because I've only had this installed for 30 minutes. Maybe an hour at most. I think it's complaining because I had the clock set. I didn't set the clock in the BIOS before I started installing Windows. So I think it thinks it's been way more than 3 days. Even though in reality I've only had it installed for an hour. So good job, Microsoft. Oh, that reminds me. I need to order some cap kits from Console 5. Yeah, Microsoft says that is too long, yeah. this Windows install is for testing purposes only. All right, so we've got 3 benchmarks to run. I may not run the third one. Because it requires me to connect to the internet. All right, let me go to the GPC challenge. So this is the pass mark. All right, Passmark version 9 CPU benchmark. And run. Oh, wait, no. Run. There we go. Run all CPU tests. Yes. Oh, yes, Dave. I tested your 512. It met my seal of approval to send to you. I think you will enjoy it. Oh, yeah. For this stream, I'm just going to run the benchmarks. The benchmarks I have. I'm probably going to do a video to sum the build up into a shorter video for the benefit of anyone that actually wants to know how well the build did in a more succinct manner. I might actually... That might be where I try the couple different versions of drivers to see if they make a difference. But for now, I'm just going to use this driver set for this test. Gutbomb's asking, who ended up with the machine with the fizzing cap? Oh, that's Chris. That was Chris's machine. Yeah, that was Chris's 2SI. All right. Ooh, actually, that's pretty good, I think. So my CPU mark score is 3491. So I'm on the 26th percentile. So CPU mark 3491, integer math 5422, prime numbers 13. Wow, that's kind of a low score. Of course, I don't know what the number means. Compression 4336, physics 172, CPU single threaded is 1008, floating point math 3761, extended instructions SSE was 15, encryption 785, and sorting 3094. So I guess that's an overall composite score of 3491. So I don't remember what the criteria is for, or how much that counts in the score. I think that might be like divided by 10 or 100. Something like that. I think I'd have to go watch the video. But anyways, yeah. Okay, cool. 3491 is the CPU mark with this set of drivers. All right, let's run the... See if the Lost Planet... Oh, no! I can't run the Lost Planet test. I bet I... Oh, am I going to have to go... Hold, please. I bet I get to go install DirectX 10. Let's see here. DirectX end user. Download. Let's see here. So this is for Windows 7. All right. Let me see if this is. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what it's complaining about, but it's acting like I don't have DirectX installed or something like that. So I just went to Microsoft's website and I grabbed the DirectX end user runtime. DX. Oh, there we go. Let me try this. DX. Let me run DX diag. No, I don't want to check if the drivers are signed. So let's see. The DirectX diagnostic tool is telling me that I have DirectX 11 installed. Well, that should be fine. Okay. What was the Lost Planet error again? X input. Oh, okay. Okay. I think the thing I just downloaded actually is what I need to install because it's complaining that I don't have X input 1.3. And I think the thing I found, the end user runtime for DirectX, I think has X input 1.3 on it. Okay. So I was actually on the right track. All right. I'll get back to where I can see the chat here in a moment. Problem is I got like 3 mice. Yeah, it was legit. There is something missing from the install. I'll just run this from the micro SD card. I accept the agreement. Next. I do not want the Bing bar. Next. Yeah, I need the DirectX runtime components. Oh, there is no... Yeah, that's right. There's no Service Pack 2 for Windows. Oh, yeah, that's right. That explains why I couldn't find a Windows 7 Service Pack 2 disc in my collection of discs. Because it does not exist. Ah, you mean this requires an internet connection? Oh, come on, Microsoft. System requirements. Install instructions. Oh. Ah, come on, Microsoft. I just want the file. Stop sending me to bing.com. I think I'm going to have to plug this system into the internet, even though I don't want to, because this installer requires an internet connection. And apparently, Microsoft has removed the installer that does not require an internet connection. Yeah, well, I tried. Why is the AMD software. Stop giving me errors. Oh. Well, yeah, I probably need a whole bunch of updates, but I don't want to connect this to the internet, really, because Windows 7. The thing is, Microsoft still has the web installer version on their website, but the link on the same page that takes you to the end user runtimes installer redirects you to Bing, because apparently that they've removed from their website. Okay, let me see. Oh, oh, thanks. Got bomb found the link. There we go. That's it. All right, got bomb found the link. Thank you. All right. Check my micro SD card. All right. Yes. I think I will have a little bit of experimenting to do with this computer. These AMD drivers don't seem to be happy, probably because I don't have updates installed. I probably will just have to go find an older version. Open this folder. Thank you. All right, let me copy these to a temp directory. Oh, lovely. One of those. Of course. All right. All right. This is the. Okay, here we go. Hopefully this will be it. All right, let me get back to the chat while I wait for this to run. All right. Oh, good night, Frank. Oh, there we go. All right, well, let's see if that fixed the... No. That... Now I got a DirectX 3D10 create failed. Fatal error from the benchmark, and... I'm going to bring up Task Manager, so... I think the Radeon software is, like, very, very, very unhappy. Ah, okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to run this benchmark. Or I'm going to have to go download some, Joe says, pour gasoline on it, light it on fire, take it outside. In that order, on stream, do it. No, that sounds, the gasoline will make everything get smelly. What is that increasingly large stack of error messages? They're coming from the AMD drivers. It's coming from program files AMD cnext, AMD rs serve.exe. A referral was returned from the server. It's like the AMD drivers are like really unhappy. Something tells me there's some update they're expecting that I don't have installed. But yeah, they're like... Oh, they stopped. Terminate the application. Well... Okay, well, let's see. Task... Mangler. Processes. Sort by name. No processes from all users. AMD. I don't see the process that's complaining. First, I think it finally terminated on its own. Direct 3D, direct... Yeah, this benchmark's not happy. Okay, so... Okay. Oh, disable user account control. Oh, that. There. I don't recommend what I... Did I reboot after DirectX? No, I didn't, but let me go ahead and do that now. Alright, so let's see if this, fixes it. I suspect I don't think it's because Windows is unhappy about its status. It's probably more the outdated root certificates. Alright, let's see if that fixed it. I have a feeling I'm about to do what Chris said second. Disable public key infrastructure signature checks and cryptographic signature enforcement. Which the only reason I'm doing that is because I'm not plugging this into the internet. I remember that commercial too, Chris, where Apple made fun of user account control. Apple has issued a salutation, allow or deny. Alright, well the good news is I think that error went away. The bad news is the benchmark is not happy. Joe says to format the hard drive. Well, quite honestly, I might have to, because something is... Is there like a, Alright, so Jesse's telling me WSUS offline could fix the update thing without connecting to the web. It's not a live stream exercise, though. Yeah, I guess let me, I'll cue that. Alright, I'll have to figure out what version still has Windows. Oh, okay, so I need version 11.9. Because that's the last one that had Windows 7. Well, that's an awfully small download. Okay, it looks like this is something that you have to probably run on a computer to download all the updates. Create update media, start the update generator application. Oh, yeah, okay. And then I tell it what I want it to get, and then it's going to go get the updates. Okay, yep, definitely not something I'm going to be doing on a live stream, but I'll do that for... Well, but does Windows 10 support... Will these benchmarks run on Windows 10? Because the cheap PC challenge seems to indicate that I need to be cheap. Oh, sorry, Jeremy. I am trying to get Windows to run, which is distracting. Yeah, it's, you don't realize how many windows I have open on my PC. Vintage computers are easy. You don't have to, like, do silly things. You just repair them. I don't intentionally overlook people in the chat, Jeremy. But yeah. I mean, I guess I could install Windows 10. Other than I don't have a Windows 10 installer, I don't think. Well, I probably have a Windows 10 installer somewhere, but Beats, beats to be where it is. Okay. That one in that folio. Windows 10 Upgrade Assistant. I would actually rather install Windows 10 than run an Upgrade Assistant on an out-of-date operating system. Oh, the Radeon software is still unhappy. Okay. Windows 10 Upgrade Assistant. All right, let me see what I got to do to run that. Although it probably won't be happy with my activation status, but theoretically, this system has a Windows 7 key in the BIOS, and the problem probably is I installed the wrong version because I do not see a sticker on this PC that tells me what version of Windows 7 it's licensed for. The thing is, I thought Windows 10 was going to be bloated for this purpose. I didn't realize that Windows 10 was possibly less bloated than Windows 7. Windows. Let me just download a Windows 10 installer. And then I'll go upstairs and grab a USB thumb drive. All right, Windows 10 download. Let's see here. I don't want to see Windows 10. There's Microsoft Site. Create Windows 10 installation media. There we go. All right. I guess I'm going to have to go upstairs and grab a thumb drive because I suspect I really, really want to do this with an actual thumb drive. It's efficient, especially if you run this as Windows 10 after installing. I don't run random mystery Windows software. You will have to. I don't recognize that. I don't know what that is. It looks suspicious. I don't care if it has Edge installed on it because I'm not using Edge. Anyways, I was trying to run Windows 7 because I thought all the benchmarks were really geared towards DirectX 10, and it felt like cheating to install DirectX 12. But I guess if it runs and I get benchmark scores, so be it. Alright. I need to go find a thumb drive. No, I mean, I guess I could use my micro SD card. The thumb drive might be faster, though. But I don't feel like going upstairs. Alright. Let me see if I can find the... Let's see here. Accept... It's on GitHub. You've run it. I'll check it out. Alright. I gotta wait for the Windows 10 installation media creator to run. Well, I can't find that on GitHub. English Windows 10 64-bit. That looks fine. USB flash drive. There we go. Removable drives. Okay. Looks like I will be creating Windows 10 install media. All right. I found this is Windows 11, but that's not what I want. Why can't I find... Well, why can't I find this is Windows 10? Thought I would at least see what it is while I'm on the stream, but can't do that if I can't find it. This is Win 10. This is Win 10. Oh, that's not it. I found this is Win 11. I can't find that on. So if someone has a link to that, I'm only finding repositories that are not called this is Win 10, and it keeps giving me this is Win 11, but that is quite clearly Windows 11. It's almost like, I don't know. All right, I'm creating Windows 10 install media. Okay, Jeremy just sent it to me. It's a repository called Windows Win 10 script, which is why I couldn't find it. As it's called something different. Ultimate Windows Toolbox. What does this do? Oh. Okay, I'll have to look into that later. For the purposes of this live stream, Adam says install Windows 9. Well, for the purposes of this live stream, I'm just going to install Windows 10 and try to run the benchmarks again. Might as well shut down Windows 7. It has been a disappointment on so many levels. My video card does not seem to need repasted, but... Alright, I think while I wait for the install media to create, I'm going to do a little bit of dusting of this computer. I'm glad I've got a fan blowing air away from me, because that is gross. I think someone donated their computer to the restore instead of dusting it. Seriously, I think they donated it instead of dusting it. They were like, this thing is too dusty. We are just donating it. Leave our recorded CD with our high school photos on it. We're done with this PC. Get rid of it. It's too dusty. uh, I will probably regret this later. Joe's saying inhale. Adam's asking, what if I install a Centrus 610 board inside a screen so I can hang flying toasters on the wall? I call that genius. There. Now that should help the benchmark scores a little. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Chris, for the cans of air. Those came in really helpful just now. Yeah, we had some cans of airs out on Saturday for dusting the computers we were testing. And at the end of the day, Chris is like, I've got a lifetime supply of these. You just want to take these? So have like a can and a half of air for dusting things. There we go. That's actually... Oh, there we go. We got another little dust bunny in the computer. One more dust bunny and I'll have an actual bunny. Oh, that's better. Okay. Where's my install media status? 96%. All right, cool. 97%. 98%. Actually, while I wait for that to finalize, I'm going to see if I can download an Ubuntu installer. Let's see here. I do not want to accept all cookies. I will accept essential cookies, Ubuntu. All right, let's see here. Let's see, I think I'm going to download the long-term support version of Ubuntu because that's what I usually use. My USB flash disk is ready. Yay! Never thought I would be excited to have Windows 10. Until I had a miserable Windows 7 experience. All right. Now, the funny thing is, I don't know exactly where the power button is on this system. It's somewhere on the system, and I've only managed to accidentally find it. Oh, there it is. That's because it's underneath the sticker that the Restore put on it that I haven't bothered to remove. All right. Okay. I didn't manage to... let's see. Ask me later. Yeah, let's see here. Is there like something I can start on this drive that'll set up? Install Windows 10. Let's see here. next? Checking your PC. Oh, all right. Apparently, it doesn't like my. All right, so we will have to. All right, you're being melodramatic, Windows. Actually, I just. Okay, let's see here. All right, boot. Boot device priority. I think that is. CD-ROM, floppy, hard drive. There we go. All right, let's try that. There we go. Well, I saw the Windows 10 logo momentarily. Nightstand. Well. Huh. Centrus 610. I would do 761, I think. Or yeah, 71 maybe even. But if you're going to do 761 or 8X, I would do 761. All right, I'm being told to give it a few. Totally captivating. In the meantime, let me see how big this Ubuntu image is that. Oh, DVD sized. Excellent. Oh, I now just figured out why I've not been able to find any of my optical discs. They were all down here. All right. Well, while we wait for Windows 10 to maybe do something. Oh, you didn't see the blinking cursor. I guess I will. Maybe it doesn't like this thumb drive that I tried to create installation media to, so. Oh, I don't have, Oh, I thought you could right click on a disk in Windows 10 and tell it to burn it. All right, let me create a a DVD. Let me use the media creator tool. I think it can burn a DVD. All right, good night, Adam. Hopefully it doesn't. Well, let me see if it can burn a DVD. Except, I may have to. Yeah, that Windows 10 install is. I don't think it's happy. All right, let's see here. I want to see if I can create a. Okay, so I am creating an ISO image of the Windows 10 install so I can burn it to a disk. And apparently, I'll have to go. I'll then have to see if I can burn it. Well, Windows 10 seriously not just burn an ISO image? Guess not. Burn to disk. Oh, let me try something here. Nope, that doesn't work. Okay, so should be able to. Yeah, I thought it should be able to. Oh, okay. I think I see what I'm doing. Or I think in Windows 10, I think you have to put a blank disk in the drive first. Okay, blank disk is going in the drive. All right, so now I got a blank disk. Should be in the drive. All right, it sees there's a blank disk in. Now let me go to where I got this ISO image downloaded. Right click on it. And oh, there we go. Burn to disk. Wait a minute. I don't think that's going to do what I want it to do. Hold on, I got like 20 bazillion. Oh, yeah, I want to open. Cancel. How do you want to use this disk? Oh, no, no, okay. Well, I think the Windows search. I think Microsoft Bing, because that's the search engine Windows uses. Just gave me a bogus solution. Let me actually use a real search engine. Right click the file and select Burn Disk Image. Well, that's weird. Okay, my options are. Huh. Okay, I don't know what's up. And of course. Oh, alright. No, Windows 10. I'm trying to burn a new Ubuntu installer. But for some reason, the option I get is extract. Oh, I I think I know what the problem is. I have WinImage installed on this computer. And it's like, so I could manage floppy images, and it's like, it it apparently is taking over CD images. So let me uninstall WinImage. I think I need to ask their support if there's any way to like. Oh, there we go. Now I got burned disk image after I uninstalled WinImage. So I'm gonna burn an Ubuntu disk while I go. Oh, hey Eric. Oh, apparently the Ubuntu image is also too big for my single layer DVD. Great. I don't know that I have any double layer DVDs. Yeah, the Windows install does need a double layer DVD. And apparently the Ubuntu one does as well. I used to have some, but I mean, I may still have them somewhere, but I don't know where they are. Okay, so doesn't look like I'm going to be installing Windows 10 tonight. Oh, looky there. The Windows 10 installer finally. I didn't realize it had actually, well, Eric, I was going to install Linux on a laptop while I waited for Windows 10 to install. Let's see, I think I'll install Windows 10 Home. Actually, I'm thinking that maybe I should have picked Pro. Alright, let's see if it'll let me restart. Let's see here. I don't have a product key. I'm going to pick Pro. Next. Accept license terms. Next. Custom. I want to delete this partition. And I want to delete this partition. And now I just want you to install. There we go. Excellent. All right. Oh, okay. So, well, apparently the Windows 10 installer, even though it was blinking at a blinking cursor for I don't know how long, apparently it eventually started. I'm running it from a micro SD card on a USB 2 reader, so I guess it did take it that long for it to load. Alright, now let me go see if I can find something to put this Ubuntu image on. Let me ponder for a moment if I know where the dual layer discs I might have are. Well, I may have to get some. Okay. Don't know. Yeah, give it a lot of view. Yeah, exactly. That's what I had to do. Give it a lot of view. Okay. Let me go upstairs and see if I can find any dual layer discs so I can not be able to install Linux while we wait for Windows 10, because apparently Windows 10 is installing very quickly. So, never mind. I guess I won't be going upstairs to go find a dual layer disc because I don't think I've got time to go find one. This is going to be done before we know it. I don't have the SGI as... Oh, hey, Nick. The SGI is not running RX yet, so I'll have to get back to that in a future live stream. I gotta figure out... what's up with my install on the Raspberry Pi of the Computerized. Yeah, I think I know where my dual layer discs are, but if they aren't in the one place where I think they are, yeah, this would have been done before I found or gave up it more precisely. See, there we are. Now, the thing is, even though I did not want to plug Windows 7. Actually, I think I still want to keep Windows 10 offline, at least momentarily. Eric says for a while he installed OS 7 using floppy disks just because he could. Oh. Yeah, something tells me that I am waiting for it to possibly boot off of the install media again because I don't know. It could be. All right. Well, all right. I guess let me go see if I can find dual layer discs while we wait for this to boot. I'm hoping that it's not going to be this slow every boot. I'm hoping that I just have to go into the BIOS and change the boot order back. I thought Windows Boot Manager did things like that for you, but maybe this system is too old. Maybe there's a BIOS update I need to go install. I don't know. Let me go see if I can find those discs. Oh, we'll leave the screen up so you all can see when it boots. How long it takes. I'll be right back. If the discs are not where I think they are, I'm just coming down. Okay, no dual layer discs. I may have actually been. I may have actually run out and just forgot that I ran out. I will just have to order some dual layer discs, or, well, more accurately, I'll probably just find a USB thumb drive that I'm not using and use that to create an Ubuntu installer. Or maybe I can use this absolutely high-performing micro SD card once I install Windows 10 on the Cheap PC Challenge PC. Now, I did go upstairs and grab a box that came today because I wanted to take a look at what's in it. And it looks like I have air. Lots of air. Mini air. Little bags of air. Well, well, my SGI will be yeah, it's got a the door, and yeah, my SGI will have a face here soon. There we go. Yeah, no, this isn't Windows 10 compatible, but it'll be nice for my Octane to have a complete identity. But that's a later task. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like smashed into a bazillion bits by UPS. All right. You know, quite honestly, I suspect it is booting off this micro SD card, which I don't really want it to do, so I'm going to shut the computer off. We change the hard drive boot priority. There we go. All right. That's better. All right. I was highly suspecting it was trying to boot from the install media. But in the back of my mind, I was wondering if maybe there was a incompatibility with the system and it wasn't happy with it, but apparently it was just, nope. Windows wasn't able to change the boot order for me when I installed it, so now one thing I am noticing about this graphics card is the fans are not spinning on it. I mean, the heat pipes are warm. Actually, they're pretty warm, but I'm kind of thinking that this card might be suffering more from more than just simple it needs repasted. Like, I sure thought the fans would be spinning slowly, but maybe not. Maybe this card has a fairly high temperature threshold before it actually starts spinning the fans. I mean, I can rest my hand on the heat pipes of the video card, and I mean, they're warm, but I don't have a temperature probe that can measure it. Yeah, it might require a good load before they spin. And the thing is, the power supply fan is exhausting heat from the video card. I can feel it drawing heat, so I'm not like super worried, but if they don't spin when I start a benchmark, I might get worried then. That's when I might start to get worried. Eric says running Windows could be considered a bad load. Yeah. Come on, Windows. I just want to run some benchmarks tonight. That's all. That's all I ask. Alright, that's a good sign. I guess while we wait for this to install, let me just double check I've got some appropriate drivers for Windows 10. Alright, let's start with region. Yes, I am in the United States. I am using a US keyboard. I would like to skip. Finish setup. You'll need to connect to the internet. I don't have internet. Let's see here. There's more to discover when you connect to the internet. Continue with limited setup. Let me guess. Now I can set up an account without using a Microsoft account. Excellent. Create a super memorable password. All right. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. There we go. Super secure. Create security questions for your account. Alright, hold please while I create some security questions for my account. To which, even though I'm going to make up things, I am going to just make up things, but I still don't want you to see what I'm making up. Hey, Brock. Apparently I have to give it security questions because I am, There we go. Now that I have made fake answers for this Windows install, now I'm going to turn off all the fun things because I do not want Cortana. There we go. Ta-da! Although, I didn't find any dual layer discs, but while I was upstairs, I did grab a SATA drive. It's actually one of those M2 to SATA adapters, and I think I have a 1 terabyte. I'm drive in here. So I brought this down so I could put it in the compact laptop, potentially. Because I'm not using it in anything else, so. Alright, good night, Eric. Oh, is there a mic on in OBS that shouldn't be on your screen share? Did that take care of it? Oh. Actually, that wasn't my fan. um, that was actually this audio capture device that's associated with that input, and apparently there's no microphone actually hooked up to it, but apparently it's got a good like negative 45 decibels of noise just coming into it. Oh, that's right. I had the Coco when I was doing the Coco 2. I had it plugged into that, and I had to turn the gain way up. I guess I didn't realize I had that associated with that input. And that's probably you're probably hearing the gain is way up. Okay, here we go. Windows 10. System. I was curious about. Oh, I haven't plugged it in, so it's probably. All right. So, yeah. Oh, it was a bad hiss. Yeah, it was. Okay, that's what it was. It was, Okay. Alright, now that I've installed Windows, let's see the specs. I'll pull them up. Alright, I want to get the video drivers and the benchmarks copying to my micro SD because I gotta wipe the Windows installer off of it. But first, I gotta figure out why. There we go. Why it won't plug into my computer. Let's see here. Format. FAT32. Default allocation size. All right. Because the thing is, if this doesn't work, then okay. So 1, 2, 3. All right. I think that's what I need. All right. Copying those over. Okay. So I guess Brock and anyone else that joined later. So my cheap PC is a Phenom X4 945 processor. Yes, with a Radeon R9 380X 4 GB card. So yep, AMD processor, AMD graphics card. I would have even bought AMD RAM, but well, I settled for some Kingston HyperX Blue, 16 GB of memory. Because I don't know that AMD made RAM. Although I think there are some kits that are AMD branded, but I don't think AMD made those kits necessarily. There we go. Phenom 2 X4 945 processor running at 3 gigahertz, 16 gigs of RAM, and that Radeon card. And my total spend for my cheap PC, $53. Hey, Will Jr. 880. So I am $47 under budget. And for anyone wondering, because I like to buy a lot of things on eBay, the place where I usually regret purchases later, the video card and RAM came from eBay, but the motherboard and processor I actually got at, oops, I think I clicked something I didn't mean to, but that's okay. All right, I got at the Herndon Habitat Restore. So yeah, the motherboard. It was actually this HP computer that was basically just the motherboard and processor and heatsink, and this case fan that had the power supply stripped out of it. There was no hard drive in it. It has the DVD RAM drive that was in it. So that all was $5 at the Habitat Restore. So the RAM cost me $20 and the video card was $28. I splurged a little bit on the video card. Actually, I guess because I got the video card at such a good price, I got 16 gigs of RAM for the computer instead of just 8. So yeah, it let me get the HyperX memory. All right, so I am copying the drivers to the temp folder so I don't install them off this slow micro SD card. I have downloaded the drivers for Windows 10, the Radeon drivers. Interestingly enough, it's the same version, but there is a different installer for Windows 10 versus Windows 7. So this will be the same version of the drivers. However, I believe this time I will probably be successful in installing, because I don't think I'll have any root certificate issues. Because I think this version of Windows is new enough that the root certificates are close enough. I mean, in reality, this version of Windows 10 is new enough. I'd probably be okay with plugging it into the network, but I don't want to sit here and run Windows Update and wait for that. So I'm just going to run these benchmarks offline. I'll save the browser benchmark for another time, so that because I don't want to plug this into the network tonight. Yeah, I think it has Modern Edge. This is like 22H2. I think it's the version of Windows that it created to install media for, so it should be a new enough version of Edge. I mean, I could probably plug this into the internet and run the benchmark, and it'd probably be fine. In fact, there's quite possible that the Windows 10 install will will activate. Because this computer has a Windows 7 license on it. I think it's in the BIOS or the firmware or something. So it's quite possible this Windows 10 will activate if I plug it in based on the Windows 7 license. But I want to run the benchmarks just... Yeah, I think this is the last major version of Windows 10. Microsoft is really pushing for people to go to 11. Yeah, 16 gigabytes is the minimum AMD recommends for Windows 10 and 11, yeah. Well, when I bought the RAM, I thought I'd be running Windows 7, because that's kind of what I thought I would... I thought I would be able to run Windows 7 based on the fact that this computer shipped with Windows 7, but the installer I have for Windows 7 on hand is so old that... Yeah, I think it was missing updates the graphics drivers required. I would have probably had to go back and grab a really old version of drivers. And actually, since this card is significantly newer than Windows 7 version that I have on hand, it's quite possible that none of the drivers would have actually been able to install. But yeah, I bet these drivers will install totally fine. Because these drivers were released June of last year. So in fact, I think right there we go. 1080p. They installed just fine. Oh, good night, Gut Bomb. Alright, does look like I'm going to need to restart after installing these drivers, but it looks like the drivers... Look at that. Lovely. They just worked. Boom. Yeah, they just worked. There we go. Lovely screen. Type in my super secure password. And let me install the benchmarks. I should have written down what the benchmark scores were under Windows 7, or at least for the CPU benchmark. I I mean, I'm pretty sure this benchmark will probably return a very similar score. Probably within a few points. Alright. CPU mark. We'll run all the CPU tests. And... Hey, Sloopy. You got here just in time to have missed all the Windows 7 fun I had. And by fun, I mean not fun. Oh, you've been here. Okay. Oh, okay, well, sometimes I miss things in the chat. Sometimes people lurk. It's all good. Well, it does seem like you missed most of the Windows 7 fun that I had. Version of Windows 7, I think that the installer I had was so old that the graphics drivers would not install properly. Okay, so it looks like I got a 3434 overall score, which I think is about 20 points less than under Windows 7. Still in the 26th percentile, but I thought it was like 3457, but maybe it was 3437. I don't know. We're in the ballpark. That looks good. So there's my CPU benchmark. All right, so let me install the graphics benchmark here. Now, this benchmark I couldn't get to run at all under Windows 7. Probably because it was missing some update or distributable it needed. Now, it's possible this Windows 10 install is going to be missing that some distributable too, but I can always plug this into the network and let it install it from Windows Update. All right. So, will this benchmark run? The code execution cannot proceed because D3DX10 underscore 33.dll was not found. Oh, great. It needs the window, needs the DirectX. Hmm. All right. Might have to plug it into the network. Okay. Let me copy that web installer. No, that web installer is not what I want to run. Oh no, actually I think I do want to run that. Because that'll install some. Alright. Okay. Hold, please. Let me Copy these two files to my USB stick. Right. And now, right, and let's see here. Let me open another window. Wait a minute. Nope. I just realized that I meant to grab a different mouse while I was upstairs. All right. So hopefully this will install whatever is missing from the computer that was making it unhappy. It does look like it's copying the... Yep, I think I saw it copy the files it was complaining about. There we go. Now will that benchmark run? Oh, there we go. Performance test. Said to run it with the default settings, so... Whoa! Whoa, look at those frames per second. Ah, the GPU fans are spinning up now. I do not know what caused that beep, but it did sound like it was coming from this computer. I mean, the seller of this graphics card said it did need repasted, so I may do that at some point and rerun the benchmarks to see if that helps performance. But at least one of the fans is spinning. Oh yeah, they're both spinning on the graphics card now. All right, for snow, I had frames per second of 273. Although I believe for the cheap PC challenge, I want to say the score might be based on the cave frames per second. So I guess this part of the benchmark, 88. All right. Well, I guess that's pretty good. I think that beeping's coming from the video card. Also, I don't know why you can't exit the benchmark, but I'd probably better. All right, what end the task because I didn't know the GPU had a speaker on it, but I think I've heard of GPUs that have speakers on it. All right, so let's go back to table cam. I'm gonna pull this card out. Although, yeah, it is quite toasty right now. Well, the seller did say it needed to be repasted, although it looks like it's quite dusty. Is there really a speaker in there? Oh, I don't see a speaker in there, but I'll have to say there's not one down in there somewhere. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, it could be maybe enthusiast cards have one in it. But I put my finger over the little piezo on the motherboard, and that didn't silence it. And the beeping was coming from this area of the bench somewhere. I mean, I guess it's possible that it was a. Hmm. I don't know. Um, I mean, the card is quite warm. It is possible that it does need to be repasted. At least I do know the card works. So I'm not gonna repaste it tonight though. Not at 11:30. First of all, before I repaste it, I need to let the card cool down. But cool. I think my entry into the cheap PC challenge is a fairly respectable setup. I mean, a Phenom 2 X4 945, quad core 3 gigahertz, R9 380X graphics card, 16 gigs of RAM, then a SSD that I had on hand, which doesn't matter because there was no disk benchmark in the GPC challenge. So, yeah, there we go. So, I guess next steps, I'm going to repaste the graphics card and otherwise clean it out. That'll let me disassemble it to try to get as much dust out of it as I can. And then I'll probably rerun benchmarks. And hopefully, if I repaste this, that will stop whatever's causing that beep. Because I'm thinking it might have been a temperature warning or something. I mean, the fans were running, but also I just it just now dawned on me to look to see if there's a BIOS switch. Because sometimes these cards have like a game BIOS and a overclock BIOS, and I don't see a switch on this card, so it only has one BIOS on it. Anyways, yeah, later I'll repaste it, and we'll see what that does. If it improves the score, in case the card was thermally throttling. But yeah, cool. I like it. So this is my $53 build. Of course, I guess there's always a chance that now that I know this works, that I don't know. Maybe I might go find a better video card because I could always take because I could spend up to $75 on a graphics card. Then again, though, this card's seems to be a pretty good card for the price. I don't know if I spent more money if I could do much better. So maybe so that I don't regret my eBay purchases for the cheap PC challenge, maybe I should just stick with what I've got and settle for repasting it like the seller said it needed and keep whatever score that gives me. Or the non-repasted score if that's higher. So the only other benchmark I need to run is the web browser based benchmark, and I'm not going to do that tonight because I don't have a Ethernet cable handy to plug this in. And anyways, yeah, Sloopy is not recommending an RX 6400. Yeah, I wouldn't go for one of those. I'd probably, if I was going to try to spend more on a graphics card to put in this system, I would probably see if I could find a R9 like 580 pretty cheap. Although the bad thing is those anyone that wants to upgrade a Mac Pro is going to probably be going after those, so that kind of drives the price up on those. So quite honestly, an R9 380X might be my best bang for the buck since I only paid $28 for it. I might not be able to do much better and stay under budget. So I may just stick with what I got. Because I believe there is a bonus for if you come in under budget. I don't know what the bonus is, but I think, because I think there's a score penalty if you're over budget, but I believe there is also a score bonus if you're under budget. So I may actually be better off to take the score bonus for being $47 under budget. So that may actually be more beneficial to my score than would be a higher end video card. Because I don't know that I would do much better on processor on this motherboard. And certainly by the time I'd have to go look for a motherboard and processor, yeah. So I think this Phenom's good. I'm thinking I may just stick with my video card score and take the score bonus for being $47 under budget. That sounds like a winning idea to me. So with that, I think actually a fairly successful note. Jeremy's asking, what would the score be if all the parts were free? Well, I think you would get the score bonus for being $100 under budget. But the thing is, you got to keep your receipts. So whoever's giving you those parts for free, if you can find the parts for free, I think you got to be able to somehow show they were free. Or although Tech Ambrosia did tell Dave that PC he found by the dumpster bin would count. So or something like that. So I guess I don't know that you necessarily, well, I don't know what you need to prove that you got the parts for free. But yeah, I think if you really did manage to find parts that were free, meaning I believe though in the spirit of the rules, parts you already have don't count. But if you can find people to give you the parts to do a cheap, well, okay, for the parts that you're required to buy for the cheap PC challenge, parts you already have on hand, unless you have a cost to, I don't know that parts on hand are in the spirit, but for the parts that don't count against the cost though, those are whatever goes. So that's why I'm using a power supply I already had, for example, because the power supply doesn't count towards the budget. Jesse's asking, would an official disposal form completed count? Well, yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's probably more questions for Tech Ambrosia. But yeah, I would say if you were given the parts, then you would get the score bonus for being $100 under budget. But yeah, I'm just building a entry to enter, so I'm not the rule maker. Yeah, Sloopy says someone gave him a Dell 2950 server with dual Xeon 2.4 gigahertz CPUs. Jeremy says the PC he's on right now is 100% free from his mother-in-law. Jesse takes back that disposal form from purchasing. Oh, yeah. So anyways, so I guess I'll have to run that browser benchmark when I feel like plugging this into the internet to run the browser benchmark. I'll rerun the graphics benchmark after I repaste the CPU, because I think it might have been thermally throttling when it was beeping, because I'm thinking that beep was it saying it was over temp. So it might have been thermally throttling. But yeah, I think it was a successful stream. Even if my first Windows install attempt went rather horribly. Windows 10's working on this PC. And yeah, have some fun with the cheap PC challenge. So anyways, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the fun I'll have. And definitely for those of you that know that I don't normally deal with systems this new, well, this was in the spirit of putting together cheap PCs like geeks have done since PCs were a thing. We've always been trying to build things cheaper to get by with the bare minimum. Maybe it's for that spare computer for the kids, or you are on a budget. So even though this is a newer system than I normally build, it's in that spirit of doing that cheap thing to get you by. So the cheap PC challenge. So I thought it'd be cool to participate, even if it is a newer system than I normally deal with. I don't normally deal with Windows 10 on the channel, but that spirit of building something cheap got to me, and I was like, well, I'm doing the cheap PC challenge because we've all been doing it since computers. So Thursday, I will be back to the Apple II Plus clone. Stan sent me some logic chips. I ordered some from Jamco. I have I've got a ROM. So Sorcerer Stan burned me a ROM to replace the one that lost its leg. So anyways, yep, Apple II Plus clone will be back on the bench. I don't know what destroyed the 23 chips that went bad in it, but I have I've got a Pico PSU adapter from Deku Nukem to put in that computer to replace the power supply that came in it. Because I highly suspect that power supply that was in it is the cause of the problem. And even if it's not, well, I don't want to risk it, because I think the power supply, even though I measured it and it seemed to be working and the voltages were right, I'm kind of wondering if it's losing regulation while operating. Because remember, the computer, well, you wouldn't remember because some of the testing I did off stream, but it stopped working off stream, and all I can think of is the power supply lost regulation at some point, but it seems to be fine now. But that's not to say it won't lose regulation again. So I will be installing the Pico PSU adapter. I've got the Pico PSU, and I've got the adapter. Luckily, I'd already ordered one for some silly reason. I think I thought I was going to put it in my Apple IIe, but the Apple power supply that's in it works totally fine. So I got one for the clone, and I got the Pico PSU. So yep, my clone Apple II Plus will be 12-volt powered when I'm done, but at least I know the modern Pico PSU should be fine and not lose regulation. And then I'll replace all those 23 bad chips, and we'll see what happens. So that'll be Thursday. Because quite honestly, I would like to be able to say hello, computer, and it'll tell me syntax error. So anyways, I think that is where I'm going to end the stream. So, yep, let me make sure I've got my... Alright, let me get this one mouse out of the way. Make sure I've got the correct thing lined up and ready to go. So with that, I'd like to wish everyone a great rest of your day. Take care, and I hope to see you next time. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.